Hi, I'm Scott Burke, and I'd like to welcome you to the Maine Forge. When I was 13, I got my first opportunity to do some blacksmithing. I was friends with Jess Tucker, and I went over to his house for a sleepover. His father, Ted Tucker, from Lincoln, Mass., was a well-known blacksmith. He's written this book here, Practical Projects for the Blacksmith, Ted Tucker, Blue Moon Press. Great book. Highly recommend it. Lots of good photographs. There's pen and ink drawings in there. Good text explaining things. Lots of projects. A lot of stuff set up for the beginner or intermediate smith, and takes you right through kind of all the skills, and great design for stuff that you might like to do. So I highly recommend this book. Check it out. I think you can find it on Amazon. But look around. As I say, I think it was 1970, and I got my first introduction to blacksmithing, something that stuck with me ever since, changed my life. I've been doing it since then. I spent most of my career working as a wood shop teacher, doing woodworking, so you may see me refer to the woodworking skills from time to time with projects. But now I'm here semi-retired in Maine. Blacksmithing, running this forge is my retirement job. I'm enjoying putting out these videos for you, so I hope you get a chance to check them out on YouTube. Please subscribe, make comments. I love to hear from you. If you have requests, I'm glad to share what I can, and hopefully together we move along and enjoy this activity. One of the first things when I get a chance to meet another smith is I want to kind of know what kinds of things they do, where their specialties are, and what their setup's like. So I thought this might be a nice opportunity to make a video as an introduction to you guys and the Maine Forge. I'll give you a little tour in there, show you how I'm set up, maybe give you guys some ideas on things that you could add to your forge or make changes, or maybe you're building a forge for the first time. Basically what I have is on the property I had a 16 by 16 shed which stored tractors and things like that. Wasn't really set up for blacksmithing, so I use that as an office and have some of my woodworking tools in there. But then I constructed this forge, which is 16 by 24, and it wraps around the face of that other shed, so you'll see that inside. And I poured a 8-inch reinforced steel reinforced concrete floor to help arrest sparks and whatnot, coals. And so it's a pretty nice little setup. I really enjoy it. And so let's go inside and I'll show you what we got. Here we are inside. So let me sweep the camera around, give you a little overview. As you can see, there's my fume hood for my forge, and there's that back room and that shed I talked about. Kind of the wraparound. This gives you just a little bit of an idea of how I'm set up. And there are my big double doors there. So let's go around each area and I'll explain what's going on. Okay, this is my main work area. I've got my anvil here. I'll talk about that in a minute. Buffalo forge over here, which is a coal fire forge. I've got a wood stump right next to it for when I'm forming things that I don't want to change the thickness. I just want to change shape, like working on things like leaves and things like that. I've got a post vise here right on my workbench. I don't know if you can see on the side, I've got a fleet of 4 grinders. Really good move to make. I've got a wire brush, I've got a sanding disc, a cutting wheel, and a grinding wheel. So that if you really want to crank out production and you need to keep moving, I just grab the different grinders I need instead of having to change the disc, which takes a lot of time. So they're about $100 a piece, but if you're doing production, definitely that's worth the money to set up something like that. I've got all sorts of fasteners and things down below which I can grab. I've got my music up top, which is generally going all the time when I'm working, my water bucket, and my oil. And I'm centered amongst all these things, so everything is just one step away so that there's no time lost, no heat lost in trying to move to stations. Off to the side here, I've got a treadle hammer. I'll show you, I'll go around and show the rest of the stuff, but there's a floor mandrel and whatnot. But set up, take the time to set up your space so you can very efficiently move between all the different elements efficiently, smoothly, saving time. Once again, this is the Buffalo table forge I use. I don't have it running right now, I will in a few minutes. I do have a video on there which shows how it works, the operation. Post vise, which is set down into the cement here. Nice big workspace for my table, laying out all my crap. Punches, chisels, some shelves for things I need, welding compounds and things like that. And I do a lot of bottle openers, so I have a little hanger so I can hang them all, so I make sure I can keep inventory just as I'm doing it. Water bucket and an oil can which has linseed oil. I use linseed oil for finishing. I also use it for hardening. I've got this little tray if I have materials that I want to lay on here, particularly after I've oiled them, a smoke finish, and I'm letting them cool a little bit. That's just kind of handy to have. And a rag right there for getting excess oil off. There is my floor mandrel. Got another stake over on a stump, and I've got some hollows for doing things like ladles, stuff like that. This is the treadle hammer. I've got all sorts of different heads on the side. Very handy for doing all sorts of things. This is my kind of my pride and joy. It's a 275 pound what do I have here? It's a hay bunting anvil made in Brooklyn, New York. Real nice anvil. And then the tongs I use all the time, and hammers and stuff I keep handy. This is my cutoff station. It's a Milwaukee cutoff saw. I can see I've welded a little homemade device over here so I can set different lengths if I'm doing multiple cuts on stuff. Saves a lot of time. And I've used the side of my smoke hood as a spark arrestor, so that's kind of handy. And we're all mounted on a metal table. A lot of extra little scraps hanging around if you're looking for that little piece. Multi-use space when I can. This is a file cabinet that I keep a lot of different stuff in, but I also drilled a couple holes and mounted some wood, and I've got some hooks in here for hanging fireplace tools and different things as I make them. I can lay them over here. Quick swing around our little kitchen, some dust collection, and some of the woodworking tools and bench, and where a lot of stuff gets assembled. Chop saw in the corner, drill press, portable table saw, belt disc sander. That's our pellet stove, keeps us warm all winter. And a bandsaw. That's Luke just chilling out. He's got the spot. And my desk. So that's kind of my setup, my little library if I'm looking for ideas. And you can see the piping here. I have piped both rooms to a little dust collector exhaust that takes fumes when I'm welding, takes sawdust off of my wood tools, and that heads right out the back of the building because I'm in the woods, so we can just blow out the back. So you've gotten your tour of the Maine Forge. It's my little slice of heaven. Get a lot of work done here, have a lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the Maine Forge. Please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also look for me on Facebook on the Maine Forge. Feel free to leave any comments or suggestions for future videos. I hope this has been helpful, and Look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks again.